This is devastating. I just don't understand why I'm being piled on like this. Those are Huda Mustafa's words after losing her second major brand deal this week. And apparently, she's genuinely confused about what's happening. But here's the thing, everyone else seems to understand perfectly. Brands are exiting faster than you can refresh Instagram. Major partnerships are vanishing overnight. And the reason why? It's been documented for 5 months. But somehow the one person who could have prevented all of this claims she doesn't get it. What I'm about to reveal will show you exactly what brands have been watching unfold behind the scenes, the pattern they saw, the red flags they couldn't ignore, and why the financial consequences that just arrived were entirely preventable if only someone had done what multiple people begged them to do months ago. Trust me, by the end of this, you'll understand why Gymshark ran and why more brands might be next. Before we break down why brands are dropping Huda faster than you can say damage control, hit that subscribe button, smash the like button, and hit that hype button to support the channel. Trust me, this is a masterclass in how not to handle a brand partnership crisis. Gymshark has officially ended their partnership with Huda Mustafa.
Huda has finally spoken out after being dropped by Gymshark and losing a major deal with them. Gymshark has dropped Huda after a controversial live stream with her boyfriend Louis caused backlash earlier this week. Another brand, Huda Beauty, made a similar announcement saying they found the live stream upsetting but hoped Huda learns from the experience. They said the decision wasn't made to punish her but to respect those affected. Huda later apologized, saying she laughed from shock and not humor. She said, "I was completely caught off guard and nervous, not trying to be mean." Louis also has issued his own statement explaining he understands how serious the situation is and is expressing his regrets. The story has now become one of the biggest influencer controversies of the week, with fans divided on whether the punishment fits the mistake. In the midst of this, Huda has spoken out about being dropped by Gymshark and other brands. Underneath a post about it, Huda left a comment. In her comment, she wrote, "This is devastating. I just don't understand why I'm being piled on like this, instead of a discussion being made."
Gymshark has responded to the Huda situation as we see here. Somebody went ahead and emailed them apparently complaining about what they have seen recently with Huda and the racial slur that her and Louis wanted to laugh at, whatever. And this is an interesting email. They literally say, "While we have collaborated with this influencer in the past, we currently do not have an ongoing relationship with them. So now people are taking that as, babe, you lost that partnership for good." Not only that, but if you was to go right now to Huda Beauty's TikTok post where, she collabs with Huda, I have not seen that, but I searched it now to see what people were saying in the comments, and you can guess what they're saying. If you don't know, they're demanding that the post be taken down because she isn't acting very mature online. People are saying her NFL commercial was at stake. All her other partnerships are at stake. What y'all think finna happen?
That's 2 major deals gone. First Huda Beauty, now Gymshark. And if you're keeping score, that's a lot of money walking out the door in a matter of weeks. Huda's response? "This is devastating. I just don't understand why I'm being piled on like this instead of a discussion being made." Let's be clear about what's happening here. This isn't being piled on. This is brands making calculated business decisions based on months of documented toxicity that they want no part of. Gymshark didn't wake up one day and randomly decide to drop a partnership. They watched the Huda Beauty situation unfold, they saw the live stream incident, they saw the harassment targeting multiple people, and they did what any brand protecting its reputation would do. They cut ties. Because here's what Huda doesn't seem to understand. Brands aren't in the business of controversy management, they're in the business of selling products. And when your fan base becomes synonymous with death threats and harassment, that's not a brand partnership. That's a liability. Drop your thoughts in the comments. Are brands overreacting, or is this exactly what should happen? But to understand why Gymshark ran, we need to look at what they've been watching unfold. So what exactly has Gymshark been seeing? Let's start with Leah Kateb, a Season 6 Love Island contestant who committed the apparently unforgivable sin of following Olandria on Instagram.
These Huda defenders are getting out of control. Leah Kateb is now catching strays and she is not holding back. She took to her Instagram stories about 2 hours ago, sharing screenshots of messages that are coming into her DMs. And this is what she had to say in return. "No one is perfect. We all make mistakes. We all grow and we all try our best. But the way people have been treating the Islanders, past and present, is flat out heartbreaking. I haven't said a word, yet I've received off threats telling me to off myself, calling my home, and messages about harming my animals. All because I followed someone I was introduced to because our stylists are close friends, but that didn't fit their nasty narrative y'all wanted, right? This whole time, I've done nothing but wish the Islanders the best and extend my support to them privately. Every single Islander has reached a level of harassment that affects their mental. That's not normal. It's not right. Racism is not okay. Threatening people is not okay. Having this much hatred towards people you genuinely do not know is not okay. I don't think anyone ever expected things to reach such a cruel and toxic level. Accountability is one thing, but what's happening now has gone far beyond that. No one deserves this level of harassment. It may be entertaining to you, but this is real life to all of us. We are human beings with feelings, families, and lives much beyond what people see online. We're daughters, sons, friends, mothers, brothers, sisters, and more. Kindness costs nothing, but it can mean everything. Let's all remember that beyond every screen is a real person trying to get through life like everyone else. Please give everyone grace. Everyone is growing, learning, changing, evolving, always just like you are. This text is so tiny, but she adds, this bullying of everyone needs to stop before someone hurts themselves.
All because she clicked a follow button. Now imagine you're Gymshark. You're a fitness brand. Your whole image is about health, positivity, community, and you're watching a fan base associated with one of your ambassadors send death threats to someone over an Instagram follow. What do? The answer is obvious. You exit quickly, because the moment your brand becomes associated with that level of toxicity, you're not just losing one partnership, you're risking your entire brand reputation. Let me know below. Would you keep a partnership with someone whose fan base is doing this? But the Leah situation is just one example. The behavior gets even more unhinged. Here's where it gets so ridiculous it would be funny if it wasn't so damaging. After Janae Craig, another season 6 contestant, commented, "Love to see it" on Huda Beauty's statement.
So now Huda fans are attacking Janae simply because she commented on the statement that Huda Beauty made, in which they decided to end their partnership with Huda based on her own actions. You can't make this shit up, y'all. This is the stuff that I'm talking about, by the way. Like, y'all are making this girl lose even more money. Like, no brand is going to want to work with somebody who is this much of a liability when not only has she engaged with racist activity, but her fans are also constantly being racist. Janae commented on the page, "Love to see it," in which people started leaving a whole bunch of nasty responses, saying things like, "Girl, shut up, that's why Kenny played you. You're such a weird human and insecure, now you deserve everything that happened to you." And other comments that I can't even include in this video. Like, that's how disgusting they are. Janae is clapping back, and as she fucking should, telling them that Misery Loves Company. Notice how none of them had the balls to show their face or drop their address. They really aren't about it. And they aren't, because these people are hiding behind screens, saying all the most vile, disgusting things you can say to another human being. And as I said in the last video, they need to be learning from this, but they're not. They're not. Because one of these days, this is going to catch up to them. Like, constantly going out of their way to harass people racially, at that, when they apply for a job, it's going to come back and bite them in the ass, because racism is expensive, as I said before, and it's gonna cost you every single time. Good for Janae for saying her piece. She's allowed to say whatever the fuck she wants to say about this topic specifically, because she is a black woman, and not only that, she has experienced racism in the public eye. So for y'all to think it's a got you moment, it's not. You look a mess. Log off, go to bed, get ready for school in the morning. I don't know. And y'all are just gonna keep making this girl lose money. The more you do this, the worse it's getting for her. I don't think y'all realize you're not doing her any favors.
After this, her fans decided to target Janae's ex-boyfriend, Kenny.
Janae, get behind me, because now these motherfucking stands are literally doing the most, going to Kenny's comment section and gassing him up. I'm not making this up. Like, what the? Are we stupid or are we stupid? Kenny, we owe you an apology. We want to hear Kenny's side of the story. You did the right thing. Are we good? Like, are we actually good? Why do y'all think this is acceptable behavior? Like, y'all are actually not smart at all. And it's the fact that y'all think it's going to help. Like, this is not going to help the person that y'all claim to support. If anything, it's making brands want to stay further away. Like, are we good? Like, all the brands came out in solidarity with Janae. Do y'all not remember that? They were sending her all type of PR packages when the whole situation happened, okay? The brands love Janae, as they should. And you're doing it in the name of somebody who you claim to support. Y'all must want her to be broke. Like, that's all I'm getting from this, is y'all don't want her to get not no damn bag. I'm gonna be honest, at this point, if I were Huda, I would be pissed. I would be pissed at y'all, because y'all's trying to stop my bag now. Like, genuinely, like, she already is fucked up as it is. Obviously, she already did the racist shit she did, but now y'all are making sure that she never gets a brand endorsement again. Like, that is crazy work. Crazy work. But anyway, Janae is very loved and highly favored, and she will be fine. despite the low, disgusting things that people are doing, okay?
Think about what's happening here. They're going to a completely unrelated person, Janae's ex, to congratulate him for breaking up with her. Why? Because she supported a brand's decision to stand against racism. Now, for some context, this is the same ex-boyfriend, where it was discovered that he was only dating Janae for clout, and racist text messages were allegedly found in his phone. The same ex-boyfriend that had all his fellow castmates immediately unfollow him following that revelation.
Dumois has now posted the alleged reason that Janae and Kenny broke up, and if this is true, you guys, it's awful. In Janae's statement, she described their breakup as terrible, disgusting, and disappointing. She said that their relationship wasn't genuine since day one. Leah, Janae's best friend, also called out Kenny on social media. She said he was racist, clout, and money hungry. So why did these two break up? What did Kenny do? Well, Dumois posted a blind item that says allegedly the tea on the breakup is that Janae found text on Kenny's phone about his plan to stay with her for business/clout, texts with friends calling her racist names, which aligns with both Leah and Serena's statements calling him a clout chaser and racist.
Now you're Gymshark. You're watching this fanbase harass people across multiple seasons, weaponize past relationships, and send death threats over social media activity. And you know what? Your contract with Huda Mustafa suddenly feels like a ticking time bomb, because it's not just about one incident anymore, it's a pattern. A pattern of escalating harassment that spreads to more people every week. And the person who could address it? She's been silent for 5 months. Comment your honest take. Would you want your brand name anywhere near this mess? And this is where we get to the heart of why Gymshark made their decision. This didn't happen overnight. This has been escalating for 5 months. 5 months where she could have addressed it. 5 months where she was explicitly asked to address it. 5 months where she promised to address it. And 5 months where she didn't. Back in August, Olandria and Chelly came to Huda and said, "Your fans are sending us racist harassment. Please speak out and tell them to stop." Huda allegedly said she would. She never did. At the reunion, she was confronted again. She gave a verbal apology but never made the public statement they asked for. Meanwhile, the harassment continued and escalated and spread. From Olandria to Chelly to Janae to Leah to Kenny. More people, more severity, more documentation. And through it all, Huda stayed silent. No statement, no post, no, "If you're harassing people in my name, you don't represent me." Her choice to stay silent created an environment that allowed her fans to feel comfortable in spreading racist toxicity that made it seem okay to call her in the middle of a live and blurt out a racist slur. Made them feel comfortable to send death threats to anyone that followed someone that her fans perceives as her enemy. Now, put yourself in Gymshark's position. You're watching 5 months of documented harassment. You're seeing multiple people affected. You're seeing death threats and animal harm threats. And the influencer you're partnered with? Her response has been silence. That's not a partnership you keep. That's a partnership you terminate immediately. Drop your thoughts below. At what point should Huda have spoken up? Because here's the thing about brand partnerships that Huda seems to be learning the hard way. Let's talk about why brands exist. They exist to make money by selling products to consumers. And consumers don't want to buy from brands associated with death threats, harassment, and racism. It's not complicated. When Gymshark looks at Huda Mustafa, they're not just seeing follower count. They're doing a risk assessment, and right now, the risk is astronomical. Her fan base has proven they'll send death threats over Instagram follows. They'll harass people from completely different seasons. They'll weaponize breakups. They'll target anyone who doesn't align with their narrative. And when asked to address it, repeatedly, explicitly over 5 months, she didn't. From a brand perspective, that's not someone you want representing your company, because the moment your logo appears next to her content, you're implicitly associated with everything her fan base is doing, and no amount of product sales is worth that reputational damage. Huda wants a discussion about why this is happening, but brands already had that discussion. In their boardrooms, looking at the data, weighing the risks, and the conclusion was unanimous. Exit. This could have been prevented. One statement back in August. One clear message. If you're harassing people in my name, stop. You don't represent me. That's it. That's all it would have taken to show brands she was taking the issue seriously. But that statement never came. And now brands are making their own statements by ending partnerships. Let me know in the comments. Is this fair to Huda, or is this exactly what should happen? Here's what this means for her future. So now Huda has lost 2 major brand deals in weeks, Huda Beauty and Gymshark. And the question becomes, who's going to want to work with her next? Because here's how this works in the influencer industry. When one brand drops you, other brands pay attention. When 2 brands drop you, that's a trend. And brands don't want to be the third in line to deal with the same toxicity that made the first 2 exit. Right now, any brand considering a partnership with Huda has to ask themselves, is it worth the risk? Her fanbase has proven to be toxic and uncontrollable. She's been given multiple opportunities to address it and hasn't. And when consequences arrived, her response was confusion rather than accountability. That's not a profile that inspires confidence. That's a profile that says, this could blow up in our face at any moment. And the worst part? All of this was preventable. Completely, entirely preventable. If Huda had addressed her fan base when first asked, back when it was just Olandria and Chelly experiencing harassment, this likely never escalates to Leah getting death threats, May getting attacked, Kenny getting pulled in, and brands running for the exits. But she didn't. She stayed silent. And that silence has now cost her financially in ways that are only beginning to become clear. Tell me your predictions. Will other brands drop her? Or is this where it stops? Because there's a bigger lesson here about influencer accountability. Here's the reality. No influencer can control every single person who follows them. Trolls exist. Toxic people exist. Nobody expects Huda to personally monitor every comment or message her fans send. But here's what people do expect. When multiple people come to you with documented evidence of harassment and ask you to publicly address it, you do it. Not because it'll stop every troll, but because it sends a clear message about what you stand for. When you don't do that, when you stay silent for 5 months while the harassment escalates and spreads, you're sending a different message. You're saying this isn't important enough for you to use your platform. You're saying you're comfortable with the status quo. You're saying these people getting harassed aren't worth the potential backlash you might receive from your toxic fans. And brands hear that message loud and clear. This is why Gymshark dropped her. This is why Huda Beauty dropped her. Not because they expect her to control her fans, but because she was given multiple opportunities to publicly state that harassment doesn't represent her values and she chose not to. That choice has consequences. Financial consequences, career consequences, reputation consequences. And now that those consequences have arrived, acting confused about why it's happening doesn't change the fact that this was entirely avoidable. Comment below, should influencers be held responsible for addressing toxic fan behavior when explicitly asked? So here's where we are. Huda Mustafa has lost partnerships with Huda Beauty and Gymshark. Her response is that she's being piled on and doesn't understand why there isn't a discussion happening instead. But she has to understand this isn't being piled on. This is facing financial consequences for choosing not to address a problem that multiple people explicitly told you about. Will more brands drop partnerships? That depends on whether they want to be associated with the same toxicity that made Huda Beauty and Gymshark exit. And right now, the answer seems pretty obvious. Should brands give influencers more chances before dropping them? Should Huda have addressed her fanbase months ago? Where's the line between holding someone accountable and going too far? Drop your honest thoughts below. If this breakdown gave you insight into how brand partnerships actually work and why accountability matters, hit that like button and subscribe for more reality TV analysis that doesn't sugarcoat the business side. Hit the hype button to support the channel. Remember, in the influencer world, silence isn't neutral. It's a choice, and sometimes that choice gets expensive. Until next time, spilling the tea one drop at a time.